Alright, I gotta make this snappy because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for the fucking Handycam license. Okay. So, these are my technical analysis for the trades that I made this week, and yeah, so this is my second time recording this because I talk too much and it just decided to stop. Anyway, whatever. Let's go. um, so the first position I decided to take was Alibaba. My technical analysis here was kind of that you see, you have like a bullish wedge, a bearish wedge, a bullish wedge, a bearish wedge. It kind of follows a pattern, and it kind of gets caught by the 50-day every time. Um, I'm not holding this. I closed it out for a profit. Just because I wanted to go into some other positions, but I mean, yeah, if you look here, so like you had this time, and it got the bearish wedge, and it kind of started to just fall, and it fell until it hit the 50-day moving average, and then we saw gap here, gap here, gap here, and gap here. So yeah, I was thinking, they're gonna fill a few gaps. It's completing its wedge, and it's probably we're gonna see some downside on it. And I was correct. It is at 306. When I made this, it was at 309, and that's when I took the trade. Really happy with it. I made like $200 off of this. But yeah, so I was like, Bollinger Bands are, I mean, it was topping out on the bands, and whenever it tops out or goes near or over the top on the bands, we see a really hard correction. So look, I mean, here you just saw it went from 267 all the way down to like 240, so like it aggressively corrects, right? But yeah, so I was able to close this one out, and then the next one I had here, I like all my posts, by the way, because I'm a baller. So again, we saw a nice bearish wedge here. I can't zoom in. Oh wait, can I change it? No, wait, I can't, I don't know. I can't even change it. I can't, whatever. So a nice bearish wedge here. And that's, again, when the stock came onto my radar. It won't let me zoom in on this fucking, alright. It had a nice it just closed out, whatever. So it had a 220 support, and it just kind of broke through that. And then up and down and up and down. It's a bit of a wonky one, So it's pretty I'd say it's pretty volatile. And it's had a really nice run up, but again, topping out on the bands. That's honestly what I look for, and that's when I execute, is when I see them topping out on the bands. And I make my play, and usually it works out unless there's some crazy news or some anomaly, Anyway. So the RSI, right here, I made a little thing. You can read that if you want to. But yeah, I mean, the last time we saw, whenever we see like high overbuying on the thing, so it's like right around the same point, we see steep corrections, steep. I mean, just look at this. We see an even underbought here, and then it kind of came back up. Steep corrections. And I think that's really what we're gonna see here. I am holding this till Friday. It is Thursday right now at the time of this recording. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what this one does. I guess I still have time. Okay. I have not taken this one up yet. Oh, if you'd like to go check out my TradingView profile, it's Stonksman69. I know. But it's based on some support. I put short on these. I'm not shorting any of these, by the way. I don't really short or, go long. I mean, I go long sometimes. I buy shares and buy calls and stuff like that. But you'll rarely ever see me shorting, just because I don't really do that. What I do is I see a bearish play on it, and I inverse and I sell calls on it and just scrape the premium up, as it drops. It's actually really nice. It's in my opinion a better way to do it. I don't know. That's just my way to do it, but you do whatever works for you, I suppose. Okay. I don't know if I've mentioned it already, but I feel like I should. All right. we are not going to be profitable this week. Actually, I think we're going negative this week. And it is because, and I will say this, I fucked up. I made a bet on Carvana. And if you have seen Carvana, or you've seen their stock price, you are aware that this fuck up probably cost me, and it did, a cool, like, like 20% of my account snapped away. Thanos snapped away from existence in one day. And that is because I loaded up on some. I sold some puts on Carvana without doing all the research first. I should have seen this giant gap up here, right? You know, I should have noticed this right off the bat, and that there wasn't really a pullback for September, not December. And I was not checking the 50-day moving average. I was not doing a lot of stuff. You know, I was just kind of like, I like this play. Let's do it. You know, and I hopped right into it, which was my mistake. It cost me like $1,200. So I took a huge blow right off the bat off one trade, which really stung. So this entire week has pretty much been rebounding and making it all back. And it does suck, but you know, it happens. It's okay. I've learned to live with the fact that I lost a bunch of money. I am also really grateful that I got to make it back though. So yeah, I'm not gonna be touching Carvana for a while. I'm not really looking for some kind of revenge play against it to try and get back the money I lost. I'm gonna stay away from it until I see some better things opening up. It's here. I don't even have it set, but like, look, if you look at the 50-day moving average, it is trading well below. Was trading well below. It kind of came back up. The bands kind of saved them, but you know, it's trading below the 50-day. So it was briefly trading below the 50-day during September. Oh, that must have been the pullback. Never mind. Whatever. Anyway, it stung. The loss stung, but it has brought me a good amount of confidence to my trading that if I lose big, I can also win it back big. And I haven't been, you know, I mean, sometimes if the market's really moving hard, I'll be able to sell a position and get out of it the next day with like once the option premium has like shred in half, you know, because it's just dropping or it's falling and it's crazy. I haven't really done that this week, and I'm still on course to make the $1,200 back. So this has really brought me a lot of confidence, and I would say ultimately it's worth it. I didn't really lose anything. I lost like $200 or something like that. And you know, I'm okay with losing it and being able to make it back if there's a lesson, and there was a lesson. So, you know, yeah. All right. And the last trade of this week, probably expiring this week at least, is none other than SPY. You might ask yourself, you know, why would you trade SPY? You know, like, why? It's ridiculously volatile. It's stupidly, I mean, just, there's a whole lot of reasons, you know. And my ultimate one was the stimulus. So there's lots of stimulus news, lots of stimulus chatter, yada yada yada. The market reacts. I mean, like, just like look at this. You know, market. You know, it doesn't like when there's bad news on stimulus. You know, as you can see by those like insane candles. Anyway, I think Pelosi's bullshitting. I don't think she's gonna be able to do the stimulus. Not this week. I mean, there's just no way. I would be very surprised if they get it done next week. Because she keeps pushing it back. She's like, you know, I mean, she's like, it's Tuesday, and then she's like, by the end of next week, and then she's like, we're hoping to have it before the election, but it's not looking good. I mean, she's just she's pushing because those guys don't like to agree on anything. So, whatever. It's all their fault. I don't like any of them really because they're all just like, whatever. Anyway, I mean, they're all just politicians, right? They're playing their own game, all of them. So, I don't think that's cool. I don't like that. However, I will profit from it, which is what I'm doing. So, I sold the 344 calls on SPY expiring the next day, and I was able to collect a very nice premium for them, actually. SPY, it's just insane. Like, the premiums on SPY are so jacked. This was near the money. It was like $2 or $3 out of the money at the time. It's actually in the money right now, but I do think it'll come back down out of the money. Hopefully, I guess we'll see. But I'm optimistic it'll come back out of the money by tomorrow. But I mean, the SPY thing, or I mean, the stimulus thing, just really it gave me kind of a lot of hope that there wouldn't the markets would react violently to the downside, and you could argue that, and I didn't really do any technical analysis for this, mostly because SPY doesn't react. I mean, you can draw the support lines and the Bollinger Bands, and I feel like on stocks they work better, but if you have something that's in the news as much as, the entire market is kind of intertwined itself in every news story right now, right? I mean, it's in the stimulus deal, right? They're like clearly they're trying to keep the markets afloat. They're doing all their stuff, and the markets react heavily on news, right? And the stimulus thing is obviously a huge news thing, right? So, I mean, it reacts, very crazy to the upside, very crazy to the downside. And I really think that tomorrow there's not going to be a change. There's not going to be a difference, and I'm very optimistic that my thing will prevail. So those are all the trades for this week, and I will make a thing of my watch list for next week. I will say this: I'm probably going to buy a bunch of Sony shares soon. Just because the PS5 launch, I really think it's going to send their revenues up. But I'll have to check when their quarter is. It's kind of more research needs to go into it. But I think I'm bullish on Sony for now. Yeah. So I will do a profit and loss video at the end of October. So that would be like next week. Hopefully we'll be up at least $1,000. That's really my plan. I guess we'll see if we hit it. It'll just be how good I am at, how good or bad I am at trading. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it.